Alright guys, as you know, it's summertime and it's very hot. And for the last couple of years, I've been using this little window unit inside my entire garage. And last year, it would keep it down to about 83 degrees if it ran all day. But this year, it's getting even worse. It's getting all the way up to 87 degrees in here. And I do use this as an office space. So we definitely need to do something about that. So what I have in store for you today, guys, is we're going to be installing a mini split AC, and we're going to compare that to this one and see how much of a better job it does in cooling. But first, I'm going to show you how to put that mini split in. All right, so this is how your AC is going to show up. You have your indoor unit and you have your outside unit. So we're going to open these up so you can see what you get. First thing you're going to see on the indoor unit is your template. This is what you put against your wall on the inside to mark your screw holes and to also mark your drill hole. That's going to be the first step that you want to do. And then we can go ahead and open up the second unit. There you go. This is the part that goes on the outside. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the inside unit and the template inside, and we're going to go mark that and go ahead and show you how to install your AC. All right, then what we're going to do is you're going to put your template up on the wall, marking this hole, this hole, this hole, and this hole, and then the center of the pipe hole right here. Then we're going to pop the bracket off of the actual AC unit itself. We're going to put this up against the wall, and we're going to attach it. For whatever type of wall you have is the type of anchors or attachments you'll need. Make sure you do attach it firmly into a stud, a solid piece of wood, or into the concrete itself. Now with our bracket mounted, we're going to go ahead and drill this hole. And according to our cardboard cutout, that's going to have to be a 70 millimeter or 2.76 inch hole. Okay, so for the next step, we're going to take this piping and gently bend it out at a 90 degrees angle so it is sticking out of the back of the unit, just like so. And then we're going to grab our drain hose. This is the drain hose. Take your drain hose and attach it to the pipe fitting. Make sure that you do push it all the way on. You don't want this popping off. And then we are going to tape our connection here just as a little added insurance. Then we're going to bundle these together and take the provided tape and after I wrap this together, because this is not self-adhesive tape, I will take my electrical tape and just put a wrapper on here just to kind of hold this in position for us. So the next step is we're going to pick the unit up. We're going to feed the wire to the outside. We're going to feed our drain hose to the outside. And then we're going to take our unit and we're going to guide our connectors through the hole, our insulation, feed everything through. A little bit of a wrestling match, but there you go. All right, so you're going to take your drain plug, install the neoprene washer, tilt the unit back, push it on, and point it out towards your drain hose. And then we're going to take our copper lines and straighten those out. So we're going to pull the plastic caps off. Now what you want to pay attention to when you're attaching these pipes is this one has a bigger thread than this one. So you want to look inside your connectors and match the threads to be sure that you're hooking the right ones up. The thin thread goes with the thin thread, and then the thicker thread goes with the thicker thread. And then we'll go ahead and tighten these up. So if you want to be sure that you're connecting the right ones up, make sure that the threads match. If it's not nice and easy at first to screw on like this, then you have it backwards. All right, now we're going to go down to the unit itself. So what you're going to want to do at this point is to get your copper coil somewhat organized. And then we're going to come down here and you're going to follow the same rule with the threads. Now if you've done it right to this point, the yellow cap is going to go at the bottom, and then the blue cap is going to come in on the top. Coarse thread on top, fine thread on the bottom. And there you go. All right, so next we're going to remove the side electrical panel. We're going to get the end of our cord, and these are number coordinated. You have S for S, but before we do that, you do want to run it through the corresponding hole in the bottom of the unit. One side is going to be your input side. This is where you're going to run power in on these lugs over here, and then this is what runs out to the actual unit itself. So red, we'll slide it up. Red is the S, and we'll do number 2, which is the white one. We're going to hook up number 1, which is the black one. And then on your bottom green screw down here, you're going to take the green screw all the way out, put it through the green eyelet, and then we will run our input power through this hole onto the line in and neutral, L and N right here. Then you will replace your cover once you hook up that power and replace your screw. Now we're going to turn on the gas, so we're going to remove these caps. And then what we're going to do is release the gas through the system. And you will unscrew this four screws. One, 2, 3, 4, and then replace your caps. And now we have to test our connections. Now what I do is I just get like a spray cleaner and I will spray it over the connections. If you see any bubbles bubbling off, and they will be quite large, then you know that you have a leak and you need to tighten that fitting up. But no leaks here. But it would actually be hissing once you put the soap on it. Make sure that you do look all around. But it'd be hissing and bubbling. And we have no leaks. So that looks like we are good to go ahead and finish tidying this up out here. So we're going to go ahead and replace our cover on the bottom right there. Put our screw back in. And then we're going to connect our input power, test the system out, and tidy everything up. Alright guys, so it's the next day. I have tidied up my install. Now I do want you to know that this long red cord right here is just an extension cord that runs to decorations in the front of the house. But you can see that I coiled all up my extra tubes and extra wires. I got everything nice and neatly done. I made some little legs to put on the bottom of the split, to put on the bottom of the outdoor unit, just to hold it up off the ground to give the drain tube enough room. This is how it is on the outside. You can see that I used the plastite that they gave me, and I attached the little round cover and then filled all the gaps with plastite to prevent any bugs or hot air from getting inside. And we are going to paint that board, of course, to make it look a lot better. So installation is done. Now let's go inside and we're going to talk about the cooling results. All right guys, so here we are on the inside. You've already seen what the inside looks like, but everything is fully installed. The AC is really, really effective. Now it was like a 12 or 15,000 BTU window unit in here for the last couple summers. Last summer, the room would heat up to about 83 degrees during the day, 84 degrees by the time, you know, peak heat. Even with the AC on, this year it was getting up to 87 degrees, which was getting just way too hot. I have 3D printers and stuff in here that I do want to protect from some of that humidity and heat. My first 24 hours with the mini split is I've actually had to turn the temperature up on this thing. The window unit had to run 24/7 just to try to maintain. This guy right here, I left it on the lowest setting all night. When I woke up this morning, it was 68 degrees in the garage. No insulated ceiling, maybe even a couple small holes here and there, and it still cooled this room down to 68 degrees down in the Sunshine State in July. So far, it is like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I have the temperature set at 72 degrees. It's currently 73 degrees in here, meaning that it just kicked back on and is cooling it down. It can actually maintain temperature and shut off and on throughout the day. And it does move a ton of air. So I think the way the mini split, of course, works is it pulls the heat from the top down inside, cools it, blows it out towards the bottom, creating a circulating pattern in your room, keeping the entire room cool. And for the first time ever, my garage is completely cool. The instructions I struggled with in a couple spots, but if you watch my video back, it will show you how to install this unit. It's not that hard to install. You will have to have your own screws for the mounting bracket. You also have to have your own input power. The input power does go to the outside unit, so that power will have to be provided to the outside. Now, with this being a garage install for me, I just used a extension cord, cut it to length. It's an outdoor extension cord, and I just ran it through my little wall right here with the, to go down to the unit, and I can just plug it in here. But if you're installing this in your house, of course, you can just connect to whatever outlet you have available. So with that being said, guys, it does work extremely well. This thing moves a ton of air. It keeps it very chilly and cool in here, and by far a great investment if you're trying to keep a room cool this very hot summer. I hope this video helps, and thanks for watching.